decongest the prisons in Nigeria. So today is such a big deal for me, and I am totally humbled, that I would have the opportunity, and you have the opportunity to learn, ask questions, um, listen to the chief judge himself. Because the beginning of any form of solution to a problem is dialogue. And if we don't understand the foundation of some of our problems, we will end up repeating what I call generational mistakes. And my goal is to help us avoid making generational mistakes. And the best way to avoid that is to listen to the elders, is to listen to our leaders, those that have been there before us. They are the ones that can, teach us and make us understand what we are looking at in the future. So today is a big deal for me, and I hope you are prepared. Look at me. Look, I am fully prepared. I have all my questions, and I have my book to write, so I hope you have your pen and paper ready with you to learn, as we speak to the chief judge himself today. So let me just quickly tell you a little bit. I feel like Nigerians, we don't celebrate each other enough. If it's a bad news, it will be all over the internet. But this is the man that has been the brain and the major force in granting freedom for wrongfully detained inmates in Nigeria. About 4,000 have gone back home to their families. 4,000. Four. Wait, think about just 100 people going back home to their families. Now think about 500 people going back home to their families. Now think about 4,000. 4,000 going back home to their families. He deserves all the accolade. All the accolade you can think of, he deserves it. This is our hero right here. Don't look for any superhero. I say it all the time. The superhero that would change Nigeria and transform our generation and Nigerians. And I'm grateful today to bring him on the platform. I really don't want to talk much because I just want to bring him right now. I'm talking about no other person but the Chief Judge of F.C.T, Honorable Justice Ishaq Usman Bello. I'm having a conversation with him today, and it's such a big deal. This is a big deal for prison reform in Nigeria. I'm waiting for. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm waiting for my brother to send me a request so that we can bring the chief judge himself on the platform. Guys, sit, relax, and be ready to learn. That's why we're here today. Yes, we cannot continually just complain about the situation in Nigeria without having dialogues and learning and understanding the best ways to provide solution. That is why we're here today. And we're in a position whereby one of the things that I'm battling with my generation is I think that we don't have enough transfer of wisdom, from the older generation to the younger generation. And it is important for us to have that transition and that transfer of wisdom from the older generation to the younger generation. Yes, I see my brother. Woo, it's happening. Oh, it's happening. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you? It is afternoon this way.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
How do you do?
I'm doing very well. And how are you too, sir?
Good to meet you.
Same here. Good to meet you too.
That's right.
It's such a great honor. I'm trying to breathe easy. It's such a great honor to have you on the platform today. And this is a dream come true, not just for me, but for every young Nigerian out there that wants a greater country and a greater nation. Having you on the platform goes a long way to encourage them not to give up on their dreams. That it is possible. Anything you're thinking about, as long as it is positive, it is possible. So I want to say very big thank you for honoring our invitation today, sir.
It's a great pleasure for me to be with you and all those that have linked up.
Yes, sir.
Particularly, I'm conscious of the fact that the age group around are those that I really need to talk to on
Yes,
this
sir.
platform. And
Yes, sir.
sure it's going to be an exciting moment.
Yes, sir. I am very sure too. Guys, if you're just joining us, it is not this is not Photoshop. This is real. We have the chief judge of F.C.T himself right here in front of us today, and we have the opportunity to learn. So I would advise you, if you're on this platform right now, I would advise you to have an open heart, unlearn, be ready to unlearn so you can relearn, and hear from the chief judge himself. First and foremost, sir, um, I want to say thank you. Thank you for all the work that you're doing regards decongesting the correctional facilities in Nigeria. I feel like as Nigerians, we don't celebrate our heroes enough. If it was a bad news, it would have been all over the place. But you have engineered 4,000 inmates to go back home to their families. That is huge. That is 4,000 people back home enjoying, their families right now. So we want to say a very big thank you. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you for having mercy, on wrongfully detained inmates in Nigeria. We are grateful. Thank you very much, sir.
A pleasure.
Yes, sir. So I have a lot of questions I want to ask you today, and we'll just take it gradually. So the first question I want to ask you is regards to the decongestion exercise that is also going on right now. I don't know. I want to first put it to you. The juveniles in our Buster institutions, are they also beneficiaries to this exercise that is ongoing?
Well, let me start from the foundational level, because
Yes,
I've listened to you very carefully, and part of the things you have alluded to is if the youths wants to succeed, there is hope.
yes,
And
sir.
therefore, it is a moment for us to share ideas and experiences. Before I come to the core question,
Yes, sir.
let me say that I align with your part of your opening remarks, which seem to give the youths some motivation
Yes, sir.
so that there's hope. All I will say is that whatever they are taking up as career, they must have the passion for it.
Mm.
Passion is the greatest driving force.
Yes, sir.
So that along the way, you don't become scared or
Mm.
develop conflict because
Mm.
of challenge. Your
Mm.
passion will continue to drive you.
Yes, sir.
So it's very, very important.
Mm.
Whatever field of studies,
Yeah.
whatever area you're going to utilize the knowledge,
Mm.
make sure that you have the passion for it.
Yes, sir.
Let me quickly give you an example.
Mm.
My dream to become a lawyer,
Mm.
and then ultimately as a magistrate and then judge, and now
Mm.
chief judge, started when I was very young.
Wow.
In Form 3, you call it, what do you call it now? JS3 now.
GS3.
Aha. When my career master
Mm.
noticed the trait in me,
Wow.
I belonged to the debating club of my school.
Yeah.
I was also a member of the drama club and the current affairs.
Yeah.
In one of the occasions, we went out to stage a play
Mm.
derived from a book, The Incorruptible Judge.
Wow.
We staged that play and I acted as a lawyer. The elder statesmen that were around showered encomiums, and my career master took special interest in me. And he said, Bello, you are going to read law.
Wow.
And he kept on guiding me. When I finished my WAEC and went for my A-levels, he was still following me.
Wow.
And when it was time to make choice for entry into the university, he insisted that I must indicate law as my first choice. Of course, I had already developed keen interest.
Yeah.
And behold, the first list for admission during my year, my name was first on the list.
Wow.
And ultimately, that is how I became a lawyer. Now, because of the time constraints, my ultimate ambition is to be on the bench. And gradually, after my brief experience, after my national youth service, I went into private practice as a lawyer on my own. Briefly, my state government gave me employment as a state counsel in the Ministry of Justice of Kaduna State.
Yeah.
And so I left my private practice and joined the government chambers of the Attorney General of the state. After a brief moment, my dream came true, and I was appointed a magistrate.
Wow.
I rose to the position of Chief Magistrate before I moved to the Supreme Court of Nigeria as Deputy Chief Registrar.
Wow.
Now, I will now just get straight into the topic.
Yes, sir.
Prisons or correctional service decongestion and reforms.
Yes.
This passion in criminal justice delivery kept following me, or I following it, the passion. So as a magistrate, whichever division I was sent, the first place of my call or visitation is the prison yard.
Yeah.
Why is it so? Even before I settle in my court, I will first visit the prison, now Correctional Service Center.
Yes.
The idea is for me to see the kind of environment that if need be, I will send somebody for detention. At least I will have at the back of my mind the kind of environment I'm sending that.
Wow.
Then the police station. I will visit the divisional police officer and I will inspect the lockups to see the kind of conditions that are there.
Yeah.
Now, so I went on doing up to the time I became a high court judge. Even at the magistracy level, we had timetable, the then chief judge, that made it officially for us to be going on prison visits to observe those that were not granted bail, either in our own courts or other person's court. Then we document and then forward for his necessary action. So that culture, in relation to the prison services had been in me. And when I became a high court judge, with enormous powers and responsibilities, I found myself now in direct partnership with the correctional service centers.
Yeah.
I became more directly in contact when I assumed the mantle of leadership as the chief judge of F.C.T.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I was in charge of criminal trial division in the federal capital for quite some years. And then while there in charge of the criminal trial division, we had these very dark moments of heavy congestion in the prison.
Yeah.
A committee was set up and I was made the chairman. Another coincidence. The passion already perceived. And the purpose of the committee was to visit the prison and see the level of congestion.
Yeah.
Pathetically, on our arrival there, the situation was extremely sad. People were practically sleeping on top of one another because of want
Yeah.
of space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very dirty, filthy environment. And my committee made its own situational assessment, and we filed our report to the then Chief Judge. The factors responsible for that I will come to. And as soon as I filed in my report, the CJ Chief Judge then said, what do we do? We'll look at some of the factors responsible for the congestion of the prison centers or correctional service centers. Now, the practice of holding charge, people are arrested, and before the completion of investigation, they are taken before courts that have no jurisdiction to try them. And as soon as they granted orders for remand, such persons are left to lick their wounds behind bars. In some cases, for a very long period of time. I said, so the CJ said, how are we going to remedy that? So in the F.C.T, we decided to collate all those cases, not within the jurisdiction of the magistrates, and distribute to the High Court judges. And from that moment, we take a position, even overnight should come directly to the High Court judges. No more going to the magistracy.
Wow.
We were able to address that, and today is history. The issue of holding charge does not rear its head within the justice deliberations in the F.C.T. And to nail it further, now as the head of court, when certain regimes were introduced, the EFCC Act, ICPC Act, bluntly took a position that all cases not within the competence of the magistracy to try must come to the High Court, and on no account should magistrates give order for detention, even when the Act has authorized them to do so. The Act, the exercising of such powers is circumscribed. That is to say, only when there is no High Court judge around. In order to insulate the defendants from protracted period of detention behind bars by prosecutory authorities beyond the 48 hours. It generated a lot of reactions, but I maintain my stance. Later, people were able to reckon with the true jurisprudence behind the constitutional provision that says persons should be arraigned before a court of competent jurisdiction and go to a peace and maintain that sanity which we were able to create. Now, we don't have people now being ordered, detained, and then forgotten by magistrates. As I said, to nail it further, about 2-3 months back, I signed rules of the court, which says, in the event of not finding a judge on ground, and there's a case not within the competence of the magistrate to try, he makes order for remand, he must remit the case file within 2 weeks to the chief judge through the office of the chief registrar. Now, that also blocks that particularly hole that was generating statistics behind bars in the correctional centers. And not only that, we increase the level of training at both the lower bench and the higher bench. Now, hitting the issue of the juvenile question raised. It is sad that we are still grappling with structural deficit when it comes to confinement areas for the juvenile. So much so that in the whole country, I do not think we have more than 4 areas that specifically you can say are meant for confining juveniles when they need a rights. And the F.C.T was so bothered because if you have to order the remand of a juvenile, you have to order him to be taken to Kaduna 2.5 hours 2 hours, very good road to
Yeah.
Kaduna. So meaning if you order his remand to be taken to Kaduna, maybe the order is given 2 o'clock. Before they arrive Kaduna, that will be around 4:30 or 5.
4:30. Wow.
And then if he is to appear tomorrow back in court, how do you do that? That early 6 in the morning again, and we don't have the juvenile courts.
Yeah.
We don't have juvenile incarceration centers. So in view of that, when I assumed leadership role, I came with a master plan that will provide on one platform children and young persons court where the juveniles will be taken, so that they're not taken before the adults court.
Yes.
Because of their fragility and delicacies.
Yeah.
Then you have family courts also close to. You have a rehabilitation center.
Yeah.
Also on the same platform. Now, why do we need to have that? In order to forestall taking in juvenile into the detention centers where adults, and particularly hardened criminals, are being kept.
Yes.
Now, the secret behind having a family court, some of the juveniles are children of persons who are even tired of them. As I said, I'm happy. I'm talking to the young ones.
Yeah.
I'm already tired of them. They have fallen apart from the parents. And by the time they are brought before juvenile courts and the parents are identified, if the purpose of getting into the misconduct is to do with drugs, there is rehabilitation center very proximate to the children young person court.
Yeah.
They are rehabilitated, and then within the family court, by the plan which I gave my opinion and the architect design, we have a unit which I christened reconciliation and integration unit. You will have a psychotherapist there, sociologists, name them, psychologists, all of them. Now the purpose is to reunite those children with their parents. It's not the issue of the family divorcing disputes and making amends there. No, to also reunite those children, give them counseling with the parents, and then you reunite them. All right?
Fantastic.
As I'm talking to you,
yes, sir,
that master plan, the Minister of F.C.T was so impressed with the discussion I had with him on that, and he took it that he is going to put those restrictions on ground and to donate to the F.C.T judiciary.
Wow.
So as much as possible today, we discourage taking the juveniles into the correctional centers where adults, so that they don't go and learn, because their minds are like copycats.
Yeah.
They easily capture
easily learn.
assimilate and try to practice some of the things they hear and some of the things they see people practice. In fact,
very true.
Some of the adults will even deliberately capture them and tutor them so that they play errands for them when they go out.
For them. Yes. Very true. Very true.
So you can see we are very much conscious of some of these ills in the society and are very responsive in the way of taking either practice direction or putting rules in place, or even providing the institutional framework in order to make a redress. I believe I have addressed this question so that I don't block you from.
Wow. Guys, if you are just joining us, please don't just benefit from this live, share it, invite your friends, invite your family members, invite more people to join us, because this is one in a lifetime opportunity, and we are so honored to have the Chief Judge of F.C.T himself with us today. Sir, I must say that listening to you carefully, you are not just a leader, but you are a solution provider. And from what you have said, you have empathy towards human beings. Because one of the reasons why Africa and Nigeria is where it is today is, sometimes we're looking for leaders with empathy and we can't find them. All those things you have done that you've just described right now, it's not just going to benefit few people, but that is what we call generational impact, which means after you, nobody again in the history of Nigeria would have to go through those loopholes you have blocked. So we want to say very big thank you. So guys, if you're just joining us, this is the Prison Reform Show, and there is nothing better, there is nothing bigger than hearing from the man himself, the Chief Judge of F.C.T. Thank you so much for addressing that issue, particularly because I have I am very passionate about juveniles in our correctional facilities, because I see them as they are still in their formative stage, and what we put into them will go a long way to shape their future. So thank you so much for that great work that you are doing. The next question I want to put to you, sir, it's in regards to the use of technology. Before COVID-19, it felt like it would be impossible, for technology to lead in terms of remote hearing. Where do you see the criminal justice system, and how can we capitalize on technology to decongest more numbers from our correctional facilities?
Well, this is a very important question, and I can tell you currently, right now, it is the debate, even among judicial members, judicial cycle members of the bar. That is the debate now, and it is because of my keenness in ensuring that not only the judiciary, but Nigeria belongs to the clubs of nations that could be seen to have embraced technological advancement, that we in the F.C.T last week convened a moot court session that addressed the constitutionality or otherwise of conducting visual court sessions in Nigeria. Panels were set up. I delivered keynote address. Senior lawyers, I say senior lawyers, I mean senior advocates of Nigeria.
Of Nigeria, wow.
For and against that practice premise on unconstitutionality, and the proponents are saying no, it is constitutional. So time was apportioned. Each side made its presentation, and a judge gave his ruling. And the ruling came to the conclusion that with or without even constitutional amendment, visual court sessions are very legitimate. And to give you the gist, we were on Zoom, and the attendance was about 145. And the judge concluded, what is more public than having over 145 people in attendance in the court? The platform is part of the court.
Wow.
There is no courtroom building in terms of building.
Yes.
That can contain 145 participants or spectators. All right. So what is more public than that? If the wording of the Constitution is saying in public, all right, it didn't even say place. In public. What is more public than over 145 persons in attendance? No court room in terms of building structure can accommodate as much. Now, if the only hinge that will make people shy away from subscribing to visual court session is the issue of public, in public, ruling, hearing, judgments in public. It didn't even say place. All right?
Yeah.
then they have to have a rethink. But I can tell you,
Yeah.
this visual hearing is going to be beyond COVID-19. It has come to stay. I have seen
Fantastic.
some of the testimonies by some of the lawyers who, for the first time, appeared in visual court session. It's so overwhelming, so encouraging, saving time, saving stress, saving stress, and then expenses. He said, let me quote in part one of what was said by one of the practicing lawyers. He said, although it meant much money he would spend on his modem, all right, compared to ordinarily what he would have spent, but at least it is much more of saving than the fuel he will consume in his car and the stress of the traffic.
Yeah.
And then within no time, in the comfort of his chambers, his motion was heard and ruling was given there and then. All right?
Yes.
So by the time the lawyers became and the judges became so much involved in it, even if you chase them with gun to say, get out of this practice, they will resist. Yeah, they will resist.
Wow. Yes.
Because the comfort is there.
Yeah.
It is natural that at the takeoff of any program, there are rudimentary problems, rudimentary issues, thorny issues at the takeoff point. It's common. I monitored the sessions presided by 3 judges at a time. And I could observe what I wanted to observe: the court sessions and the lapses on the part of the lawyers, on the part of the judges, the issue of network, and I instructed that they should find out which is the network that is more potent in that particular area where the judge is, so that we can opt for that. So you can see already we are making a headway to provide a more potent service provider within that area, at least to address that issue of instability of the network. All right? There may be issue about power supply, all right, which is common wherever. But because of these initial lapses and takeoff, we should not deter. We should not develop COVID and say we'll fold our arms and then will not move ahead to embrace technology. I assure you, this thing has come to stay. The National Judicial Council was confronted with a memo. It was deliberated through a committee, and I was a member of that committee. Deliberated, submitted our position to the Chief Justice of Nigeria, and he is very, very keenly looking into that. And Nigeria has just come into it. I assure it is there. The reduction of time.
Guys, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Please, can I see those emojis of you clapping? Drop those emojis of you clapping right now. I just want to see those emojis. This is a big news, you know. And I want to use this opportunity to say to you, young Nigerians that are watching, it is possible. The change that we are looking for, the change that we desire, it is possible. We can achieve that change. And look at it. Like you said, sir, it is here to stay beyond COVID. This is not about, oh, after COVID, we are back to the other ways of doing things. It is here to stay. Thank you so much for that clarification on that particular topic. Now, you mentioned something while you were speaking, which leads me to my next question. In my little experience, I'm not a lawyer, you know, but I'm a musician, and I'm very passionate about, you know, prison reform. And that's why I've been using my platform for 11 years now to advocate for prison reform. And in my field of going to the prisons and, you know, interacting with inmates, and some of the inmates also that we've gotten freedom for through my platform. So far, we've been able to get freedom, you know, by paying bail for minor offenders. Now we've gotten freedom for 120, you know, inmates thank you, sir, you know, since we started. And I want to know what do you think? What is the role of lawyers in prison decongestion? Because we know that sometimes lawyers deliberately, advise their clients not to plead guilty, even when the evidence are very glaring, mostly for minor offenses. I'll give you an example, sir. When I started paying bail for minor offenders in Lagos, they were locked up for as little as street trade offense. If they arrest you for street trade offense, their lawyers
I'm
would,
aware of that. Yes, I'm
yes,
aware of that. Yes.
yeah, their lawyers will advise them not to plead guilty. So not pleading guilty is part of the reasons why they end up in prison. What do you have to say in regards to lawyers in that space?
Well, it is sad if a lawyer, and naturally, a lawyer is supposed to guide
Hmm.
and not to mislead.
Yes.
So if there is reason for anybody to be arraigned, the issue of entering plea is absolutely within the volition of the defendant.
Hmm.
It is not, it is unethical. It is improper
Hmm.
for a counsel to tell his client, don't plead guilty,
Hmm.
if there's a basis for that. Because pleading guilty may even earn him some kind of respite,
Hmm.
particularly in minor offenses.
Yeah.
Not cases within the bracket of high profile
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
So it is unethical for him, any counsel. He is supposed to ensure that justice is done
Yeah.
to all manners of persons. He is a minister of justice, just like the
Hmm.
judge
Yeah.
within that temple. His duty is to make sure that justice and fairness is done.
Yeah.
He must not be seen to compromise himself
Hmm.
at all costs.
At all costs.
So I'll be surprised, and such conduct is worthy of being reprimanded by the committee on legal practitioners' privileges. It's a
Hmm.
misconduct.
Yeah.
Any counsel to behave in that manner,
So is
or
it?
to do the reverse, where he's
Yeah.
not supposed to plead guilty, he asks him to plead guilty. That would
Yeah.
be terrible.
Hmm.
He is already disqualifying himself
No.
Yeah.
Right.
to remain a lawyer on the
Yeah.
list of lawyers as advocate of the Supreme Court of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's wrong.
Fantastic. Guys, if you're just joining us, welcome to the show. This is the Prison Reform Show, and we have the Chief Judge of F.C.T, Honorable Justice Ishak Usman Bello, with us today. And I hope you are learning. I hope you guys are learning and you're writing down your points, because I'm learning. And we're not just here just to, we're not just here talking about the problems, but we are also telling you about measurable solutions, that the Chief Judge himself has put in place. That's why we're here today, because most times we don't get to hear these informations enough, so we don't even know what's happening around us enough as young people. So it is important for us to know details of what is happening and how we can move forward. Now, sir.
Can I come in on one issue?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, like in the correctional centers, in the course of my going, so far I've visited over 36 states.
Yes.
I mean, it's not states. I mean correctional service
yeah.
centers in the country, and I observed that 70% are the young ones within the age bracket of 17, 18, 19, 20, 30 maximum for 35, 40, which is unfortunate. These are the seedlings of future leadership and are being wasted by themselves in the confines of the correctional service centers.
Yeah.
And one trait that is very common is the issue of drugs,
Mm. Mm.
which has been the greatest catalyst for inducing them to get into crimes.
Mm.
Now, one thing that I observed, because they have been severed and taken off such social attractions outside, some of them could devote themselves to learning, which they could not do outside because of the vices pulling them.
Yeah.
I have observed from secondary education, higher level qualifications, first degree, second degree, even to PhD. So in the course of my go around, I have seen this, and I said, I woke up one day and I was having some psychoanalysis. I said, what becomes the certificate of these young guys who have now dedicated to learning while in the prison?
Yes.
What happens to their credentials when they get out? Hopeful that now I have credentials.
Yeah.
Luckily, I just finished an assignment in one of the correctional service centers, and then there was a retreat being held in Enugu. Some senators considering the bill then to change the nomenclature from prison to correctional service.
To correctional service.
I'm proud to say that it's part of our advocacy to change it from prison, which is suggestive of something negative, just to be confined. But when you say correctional, it gives you the gist that you are there to be corrected.
To be corrected.
So we
Very
did the
true.
advocacy, and the bill was being considered. So I went there. So I posed this question to them. I said, what do we do? What happens to the credentials of these young guys who became so studious and acquired the credentials after they left the prison? So debate started. And I said, I wanted them to understand that if on coming out and you are to fill a form and there's a column which says, were you ever a convict? You are duty bound to answer in the affirmative.
Yeah.
To say you are a convict.
Yeah.
At the moment you say convict, it means you are 90% a loser as far as that job is concerned.
It's concerned.
Yeah, because it's a stigmatizing effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I said, that will mean constituting an explosive which is bound to explode in course of time. Because people who have gone there with less sophistication in terms of their intellect and the way they reason, they committed crime, they were sentenced, became studious, and now came out with more sophistication in terms of their reasoning capacity and sharpness of intellect. They are deprived job, meaning the society has rejected them. I said they will turn against the society with viciousness, with lack of any human touch, committing crimes now with sophistry than ever before. So there is need to do something. We were able to persuade the National Assembly, and a provision was made in the Act that the Controller General, based on the good behavior of such convicts while there, in addition to the credentials they have acquired, the Controller General could make a recommendation for amnesty so that once they receive the clemency, they are cleaned as if they were born yesterday. With no such stigmatization.
Wow.
And in respect of those who did not acquire learning, but they have acquired skills, some professional kind of engagements in the prison, carpentry, tailoring, and many of them are there. A lot of them are doing for maid, name them. And it was also agreed that such type of persons too, looking at the skills they have acquired and the good attitude they have displayed, meaning remorse, repentant, and now refined, they equally should enjoy such similar courtesies or extension. All right? And this is the way we arrive, not only to recognize those that were studious and repentant and now refined, but also to promote and encourage those who are within, once they are there, to respond to corrections.
Yes.
And we didn't stop at that. I was reading a clip what Libya did at some time.
Yeah.
Reduction for readership. That's the title. Reduction of sentence for readership.
For readership.
Yeah.
Mm.
If you are able to demonstrate that you have read certain books, then you enjoy reduction by weeks up to the time you are exiting. So I said I should not just stop this. I threw this issue open to the magistrate, to judges, lawyers, and the responses I got within no time was so pleasantly shocking. And people started saying we are going to donate books. And I said, they said, my Lord, what type of books? I said, I want books on orphanage, life of an orphan.
Yeah.
All right. Because if a convict, maybe it's for manslaughter, or he's been pardoned, it was condemned cell, but he was pardoned, having committed to life imprisonment, and he's reading this kind of books. Maybe it was robbery he committed. He has already killed the father of an orphan.
Yeah.
He never knew the implication. By going through a book on orphanage, in the process, he will be transformed. In fact, he will end up shedding tears.
Yes,
that, oh,
very true.
this is what I have done. When he comes back, when he comes out, he will be the one preaching against such kind of thing. And in fact,
kind of things. Yeah.
Questions were asked. My Lord, you are doing this. What about those that cannot read? I said, the way you can know that they can be rich is those that read. For you to know the true read, you can assemble those people. He will address them on the content of the books he read.
Of the books he read.
Yeah. On orphanage. All right.
Very true. Very true.
All right. Love, tolerance, forgiveness in the region. As I'm talking to you now, I'm expecting consignment of books, even from some of the judges in the F.C.T, donating for that.
Fantastic.
I've received quite a number. I launched these books, some of the books at Akwa Ibom. That was the last place I went.
Yes,
and it was there we launched it.
Fantastic.
We also launched program for skills acquisition.
Yeah.
Shoemaking, clothing, so many other things.
Fantastic.
If you see one of the shoes made for me in Kefi prison, if you take it to any designer shop, I assure you, without missing any words, it could be bought for thousands of money.
Wow. Wow.
I remove my own shoes and use that one throughout, and I keep that one until I'm going to any grandiose occasion that I use it this day. Yeah, because so beautiful. It's so fantastic.
Wow.
So you can
amazing.
See, we are making part of our terms is to make situational assessment, to look at the facilities in terms of the skill acquisition, so that when they get out, I mean, they get in there, they will not go out the same thing. And we insisted that the amount of money be realized from the products, all right, of their skill. About 15% should be set aside for them, so that at the point of exit, that amount will be given for them to go and practice the skill they have acquired. This would block recidivism. Recidivism. So these are many other things we're really on, and we're sanitizing the correctional side.
Guys, are you hearing that, guys? Are you hearing that? This is sometimes people look at me and say, Lamboginny, why are you still worried, and why do you care about Nigeria? Oh, you're in America, just leave it, forget about Nigeria, live your life over there. This is part of the reasons why I can't give up on Nigeria. Nigeria is our country, and we need leaders like Honorable Justice himself today. You're hearing it in the midst of all the negative news flying around.
I can assure you that in Nigeria, during the colonial days and immediately after the colonial days, prison centers as built were bigger than houses of the emirs, the palaces of the emirs. And those days, the intention was not to make prison circles like kind of crucifying center.
Yeah.
It was so palatious, bigger than the palaces of the emirs then. It is in course of time they become dwarf. They become dwarfed, and now with the increased rate of crime, the statistics has already overstretched the size of this. They are looking now so only worth being referred to as tourist centers, for them to see the anachronism of the structures, around. But they were really bigger than the palaces then. So you can see the intention. The intention always is to make the condition congenial enough, not as filthy as we see these days.
Thank you so much. I never knew that. Guys, our time. I still have a few more questions. Sir, I just want to plead with you ahead.
Yes, okay.
I still have a few questions that I want to ask that are also very important, but Instagram usually will time you for a certain amount of time, and then they stop you, and then you can come back up immediately. So please, if we get stopped, please give us a few more minutes, to ask this question. We'll bring you back up immediately. My next question, which we have 5 minutes before Instagram cuts, but I want you, now that we have non-custodian, because this is new, we now have custodian and non-custodian. Under non-custodian, I see probation, I see parole, I see community service. Do you think this new law, this new non-custodian, do you think that will really help in decongesting our correctional facilities? And do you see the possibility of it being maintained in terms of funding and officers to implement community service across the Federation?
Well, thank you so much. It's a very important question, and I can tell you, under the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, there is a statutory provision that makes it mandatory to put in place Administration of Criminal Justice Committee, and the chairmanship resides on me as the Chief Judge of the Federal Capital Territory. And here we have all the component members in terms of stakeholders. The Inspector General of Police, the Control General of Prisons, the Correctional Service Centers. we have the Attorney General of the Federation. We have the Human Rights. Name them, they are there. If they are not there in persons, they have their representation. The idea is that if there is any lapses within the police, prosecutory, or investigatory agencies, my committee will get the information. And as we meet, I will draw the attention of the representative of the IG. If it is the prison, I will draw the attention of the prison authority. If it is office of the general, and this we are able to get speed up solutions. Now, the issue of non-custodial service is a thing that is very much welcomed. It is no doubt going to drastically eliminate congestion in the prisons. Now, I keep on saying there are two categories of convicts. One does not necessarily have to go to confinements. The second one, for obvious reason, yes. There are the first category contains or pertains to those that are in crimes, drugs-induced attitude. Whatever form of crimes they commit, it is catalyzed by drugs. Such people necessarily you have to put them under confinement for the purpose of cleansing, rehabilitation, bringing them to normalcy psychologically and all their dispositions. There is the other segment that does not require. For instance, the white-collar crimes. People don't want to hear about non-imprisonment or non-custodyship when it comes to white-collar crime. But the most important thing in white-collar crime is forfeiting the ill-gotten loot. Like taking a fish out of the river. You strive him the money or the property, retrieve that, forfeit that, and then you sentence him to non-custodial service sentence.
Mm.
Let me give an example.
Yeah.
If it is a minister, you have forfeited the money.
Mm.
You have gotten away the houses,
whatever,
and then he is sentenced to serve in an emergency unit of a hospital to wash blankets, to scrub floor where the public will see. This will be more deterrent when it comes to high-collar crime,
yeah,
than putting them in the prison with all the insinuations that the big men are allowed to go out in the night, have their comfort, and come back within the confinement of the prison early morning. But if they see the big man washing bed sheets at an emergency, that is the intensive care unit of any hospital, they will say, no, be that big man, be that. And then the law na law. But now people don't see the law. Emotion. This kind of category
sorry,
of persons.
sir, Instagram. So sorry.
Okay,
I'm going to